If you want to become the strongest version of yourself, you must accept one hard truth first: life will not become easier. You must become stronger. Strength is not loud. It is calm. It is quiet control over your thoughts, your reactions, and your choices. This is the path of Stoic strength. First, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Life will never be perfect. There will always be problems, delays, and people who test you. The strong person does not complain about this. He trains his mind to move forward anyway. Every obstacle is a chance to grow tougher inside. Control what is yours. This is the foundation of strength. Most people spend their lives trying to control things they cannot. They argue over events they cannot change, worry about the opinions of others, and let circumstances dictate their mood. When you allow external forces to control your inner world, you give away your power. Real power begins by recognizing what truly belongs to you: your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and your attitude. These are yours alone. Everything else is beyond your complete control. To focus on what is within your power is not an excuse for passivity. It is a strategy for effectiveness and clarity. When you identify what you can control, you free your mind from unnecessary suffering. You stop blaming others, stop wishing the world were different, and stop chasing approval or luck. You act with precision and purpose because your energy is directed at the only place it can make a real difference. You start by observing your reactions. When life throws obstacles, when people betray trust, when situations change unexpectedly, notice your immediate response. The natural instinct is to resist, to complain, or to feel victimized. This instinct is easy and familiar, but it does not lead to strength. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself, is this mine to control? If it is, act decisively. If it is not, release the urge to control and shift your focus inward. This practice trains the mind to conserve energy and avoid unnecessary battles. Next, focus on your choices. Every day offers countless opportunities to choose. How you respond to events, how you treat others, how you manage your time and resources, all these are yours to govern. No one can dictate your moral decisions, your effort, or your persistence unless you allow them. Choices are where freedom meets responsibility. It is tempting to blame external forces for failures, or to wait for perfect conditions before acting, but this is the path of weakness. Strong people act even when conditions are imperfect. They take ownership of every decision they can make, understanding that influence begins with deliberate action. Your thoughts are equally yours to control. Left unchecked, the mind drifts toward fear, resentment, or envy. These thoughts are subtle chains that limit your potential. Awareness is the first step. Recognize negative patterns without judgment. Then, intentionally redirect your mind toward productive, rational, and constructive thinking. A disciplined mind evaluates situations clearly, separating facts from assumptions, and chooses responses aligned with integrity and purpose. Action follows thought. Consistency in controlling your thoughts ensures consistency in your actions. Your attitude, the lens through which you perceive life, is also yours to govern. Life may be harsh, unpredictable, and sometimes unfair. Choosing how to approach each day, whether with calm, patience, and resilience, or with frustration and complaint, defines your experience. By focusing on what is yours, you maintain inner peace in the midst of chaos. This is not denial of reality. It is mastery over the part of reality that you can influence. It is practical, deliberate, and unshakable. External events will always attempt to pull you into turmoil, but by controlling what is yours, you become a fortress that cannot be breached by circumstance. Each choice you make reinforces this control. Each act of restraint strengthens it. Each moment of reflection deepens it. Over time, controlling what is yours becomes instinctive. You no longer react to the uncontrollable with fear or anger. You respond to it with clarity, focusing only on your sphere of influence. Your energy multiplies, your decisions improve, and your life aligns more closely with your principles. By controlling what is yours, you claim ownership of your existence, shaping your character, your destiny, and your strength through consistent, conscious effort. Accept discomfort as part of growth. Life is not meant to be easy, and the strongest individuals understand that ease does not build character. Discomfort comes in many forms: physical strain, emotional pain, rejection, failure, and the constant challenges of daily life. Most people instinctively avoid these experiences because they are unpleasant, but avoiding them leads to weakness. True strength emerges when you willingly step into situations that test your limits. Discomfort is a teacher. It shows you where you are soft, where you have relied too heavily on comfort, and where growth is possible. By facing it rather than fleeing, you develop resilience and adaptability. Start with small discomforts. Take control of your body through rigorous exercise, endure cold or heat, fast, or push yourself to work harder than you feel capable. Each time you embrace minor discomforts, you build tolerance and confidence that will serve you in larger, unforeseen challenges. Emotional discomfort is equally crucial. Difficult conversations, criticism, or situations that trigger insecurity or fear are opportunities to strengthen your mind. Most people shy away from these moments, but facing them head-on fosters courage and clarity. By choosing to engage rather than avoid, you learn to remain calm under pressure and to act with intention even when your instincts urge retreat. Failure is another form of discomfort that cannot be ignored. People fear failure because it feels like a loss, an exposure of weakness, or a personal deficiency. Yet failure is not the enemy. It is evidence of effort and a source of learning. Every failure endured with honesty and reflection adds to your experience, making your future choices wiser and more deliberate. Avoiding discomfort, conversely, keeps you trapped in mediocrity. Discomfort teaches patience. Growth rarely occurs overnight. Enduring periods of struggle, delay, or uncertainty allows you to develop perseverance, the steady force that carries you through life's inevitable hardships. Impatience is a mark of weakness, a desire for immediate relief or gratification. Those who accept discomfort understand that pain is temporary, but the strength gained from facing it lasts indefinitely. Discipline is born in discomfort. When you push past resistance, whether in training your body, mind, or character, you create habits that endure. The habit of enduring what others flee from separates the strong from the weak. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions more deliberate, your emotions less volatile. Comfort is seductive, but it dulls your faculties and weakens your resolve. Strong individuals willingly surrender short-term comfort to achieve long-term excellence. This principle applies to every area of life. Work, relationships, health, and personal development all demand encounters with discomfort. Avoiding these challenges ensures stagnation. Embracing them guarantees progress. It is important to recognize that discomfort is not synonymous with suffering without purpose. Enduring pain mindlessly does not cultivate strength. Enduring it with awareness and intention does. Observe each challenge, reflect on its lessons, and act with patience and courage. Social discomfort is often the hardest to face. Standing alone in your principles, refusing to follow the crowd, or challenging widely held beliefs can provoke ridicule or resistance. This is precisely why it is valuable. Strength is forged in the fire of opposition. By welcoming situations that test your convictions, you cultivate integrity and inner confidence. Accepting discomfort is also a practice in humility. You acknowledge that life is often beyond your control, that events are unpredictable, and that personal growth requires sacrifice. In doing so, you learn to act without complaint, to bear hardships quietly, and to focus on what can be influenced. Over time, the repeated embrace of discomfort transforms your character. You become less reactive, less dependent on external validation, and more capable of facing life's inevitable trials with calm determination. Your mind, body, and spirit strengthen together, creating resilience that is both practical and enduring. And this resilience allows you to navigate challenges that would overwhelm those unwilling to endure discomfort. Stop seeking praise. This is a principle that separates those who live by external approval from those who live by their own standards. Most people crave recognition, applause, or validation for their actions. They perform, speak, or behave in ways designed to be admired rather than to be correct or meaningful. When your sense of worth depends on others, you surrender control of your mind and your life. Praise is fleeting and unreliable. People's opinions change with mood, circumstance, and ignorance. What is praised today may be criticized tomorrow. The strong person understands that seeking approval is a hidden form of weakness. True power comes from acting according to principle, not according to applause. Begin by observing your motivations. Why do you act in certain ways? Are you performing for recognition, or are you acting because it aligns with your values and long-term goals? Awareness is the first step toward independence. Once you recognize the desire for praise, redirect your focus inward. Ask yourself, would I act this way if no one noticed? Would I still do what is right, even if it went unrecognized? This reflection builds internal standards that do not fluctuate with others' opinions. Acting without the need for approval fosters freedom. You no longer bend to social pressure, exaggerate accomplishments, or hide flaws to impress. Your energy is no longer scattered by the need to manage perceptions. Instead, it is concentrated on consistent action, self-discipline, and meaningful contribution. Freedom from praise also strengthens resilience. When criticism comes, it cannot wound you deeply because your sense of worth is grounded in personal integrity rather than public opinion. When recognition comes, it does not inflate your ego because you know your actions are guided by principle, not by the desire for applause. This approach applies to every area of life. At work, do your tasks with diligence, not to be noticed by superiors. In relationships, act with honesty and care, not to be admired or liked. In personal growth, pursue mastery and learning, not to boast or to signal superiority. The results of your actions become secondary to the quality and intention behind them. Silence becomes a powerful ally. You do not need to announce achievements or seek validation through words or social signals. The strong person lets actions speak quietly and consistently, trusting that their impact will be evident without needing attention. Detachment from praise also nurtures humility. By focusing on the act itself, rather than its reception, you recognize that success is often a result of effort, circumstance, and learning, rather than personal entitlement. Humility frees the mind from arrogance, impatience, and envy. Acting independently of recognition strengthens character. It teaches self-reliance, patience, and the ability to pursue excellence without shortcuts. You learn to value your own judgment above fleeting societal approval, cultivating confidence grounded in competence, rather than applause. This practice also enhances clarity of purpose. When your goal is to act rightly rather than to be admired, decisions become simpler. Distractions fade. You are no longer swayed by what is popular, convenient, or superficially appealing. You act with intention and consistency. Over time, the habit of acting without seeking praise becomes instinctive. You move through life with a quiet dignity, confident not because others validate you, but because your actions align with your principles and your understanding of what is right. External recognition becomes irrelevant to your sense of self, and your energy is directed toward continual improvement, disciplined effort, and meaningful contribution rather than toward fleeting approval or empty applause. This internal independence creates a stable, resilient, and focused character that cannot be shaken by the whims of public opinion. Master your emotions. Emotions are powerful forces, shaping decisions, actions, and relationships. Yet most people allow them to run unchecked, letting anger, fear, desire, or envy dictate behavior. This lack of control leads to regret, conflict, and wasted energy. True strength lies not in suppressing emotions but in understanding and directing them. Begin by observing your feelings as they arise. Notice the moment anger flares, fear tightens the chest, or anxiety clouds judgment. Awareness is the first step toward mastery. Emotions themselves are not inherently good or bad. They are signals, information about your environment, your needs, and your values. Reacting impulsively is a sign of being ruled by emotion, but pausing to evaluate allows reason to guide action. Practice pausing before responding. When provoked, take a breath, step back, and consider your response. Ask, what is within my control here? What is the most rational, effective, and principled action? This pause transforms emotional energy from chaos into clarity. Next, understand the difference between external events and internal interpretation. You cannot always control what happens, but you can control how you perceive it and respond. Anger toward another's behavior is often a reflection of your judgment, not the event itself. By adjusting your perspective, you reduce unnecessary suffering and maintain calm focus. Cultivate emotional resilience through repetition and reflection. Each time you face disappointment, insult, or frustration, remind yourself that the external event is not harmful unless you allow it to disturb your mind. With practice, Challenges that once provoked strong reactions begin to elicit measured, rational responses. Desire and attachment also require mastery. Wanting something beyond your control can create restlessness and anxiety. When you recognize a desire that may lead to suffering, examine it carefully. Ask whether pursuing it aligns with your principles and whether it is worth the potential turmoil. Learning to let go of unhelpful desires strengthens self-discipline and focus. Fear is another emotion that can cripple or motivate. Do not seek to eliminate fear entirely, instead understand it. Fear often signals the need for preparation or caution. Use it to plan, to act prudently, and to remain vigilant. When you confront fear directly, it loses its power to dominate your decisions. Envy and jealousy are corrosive emotions, arising when you compare yourself to others or measure your worth externally. Recognize these feelings without judgment, then redirect attention to your own growth and actions. Concentrate on improving what is yours rather than resenting what belongs to another. Emotional mastery is a continuous practice, requiring self-reflection and honesty. Journaling, meditation, or quiet contemplation can help identify recurring patterns, triggers, and reactions that need adjustment. Strong individuals do not expect life to be free of emotional challenges. They expect challenges and use them as training grounds for discipline. They do not react immediately to provocation, nor do they let disappointment dictate their mood or decisions. They respond with measured action, aligned with reason and principle. This mastery creates freedom. When emotions are under control, energy that would be wasted on conflict, worry, or resentment is redirected toward meaningful action and personal growth. Relationships improve, decisions become clearer, and inner peace becomes consistent rather than occasional. Mastery over emotion does not mean detachment from life. It means engaging fully, but with awareness and control, allowing reason to lead and emotion to inform rather than dictate. Over time, this disciplined approach transforms character. Repeated practice of observing, pausing, evaluating, and responding intentionally builds a mind that is resilient, steady, and capable of facing any challenge with composure and clarity. The individual who masters emotions is not easily shaken by fortune, insult, or misfortune, but remains balanced, decisive, and effective, guided by principle rather than impulse, and capable of navigating life's complexities with calm strength and unwavering focus. Speak less, observe more. Most people fill silence with words, often unnecessary, reactive, or careless. Talking excessively can reveal weakness, impatience, or lack of clarity. It exposes your mind before it has fully understood the situation, allowing impulses, emotions, or ignorance to guide your speech. True strength lies in restraint. By speaking less, you create space to observe, to understand, and to act with precision. Observation is the gateway to knowledge. When you pay attention to people, situations, and patterns, you gather information that others miss. You notice intentions, inconsistencies, and opportunities. You begin to see the world as it is, not as it appears in your assumptions or biases. Silence sharpens judgment. Listening allows you to process before responding, to weigh consequences, and to craft words with purpose. Words spoken without thought can cause conflict, reveal vulnerability, or weaken authority. In contrast, measured speech conveys confidence, wisdom, and control. Observe your surroundings carefully. Notice the behavior of those around you, the dynamics in groups, the flow of events. By doing so, you learn to anticipate actions and respond appropriately. Observation is not passive, it is an active exercise of attention, discernment, and patience. Learn to listen first, speak second. This principle applies in every area of life: work, relationships, negotiations, and even internal dialogue. By observing more, you also gain insight into yourself. Notice what triggers anger, fear, or desire in your mind. Recognize patterns in your thinking and behavior that may lead to mistakes if expressed impulsively. Self-observation cultivates self-mastery. Silence also builds respect. When you speak sparingly, others listen more attentively. Your words carry weight because they are chosen carefully and delivered with intention. In contrast, constant chatter dilutes influence and undermines credibility. Speaking less requires discipline. It is easy to fill voids with sound, but strength comes from controlling impulses, even those as seemingly small as the urge to comment, criticize, or interrupt. Practice patience in conversations, resisting the need to dominate discussions or immediately respond to provocation. Watch and understand before reacting. Observation fosters empathy and understanding. By paying attention to others, you can discern needs, motivations, and unspoken emotions. This insight allows for more effective communication, negotiation, and collaboration. Observation also exposes deception and manipulation. Those who speak without listening are easily misled. Those who observe first see through pretense and act with clarity. In silence, you cultivate a calm mind. A quiet mind is free from distraction, able to process events with clarity rather than emotion. It allows for deliberate, reasoned action instead of impulsive reaction. Speaking less is not about withdrawal or avoidance. It is about prioritizing depth over volume, quality over quantity, and principle over convenience. It is about aligning speech with purpose, ensuring every word serves reason, truth, or necessity. Over time, this habit transforms interactions and decisions. You respond rather than react, influence rather than dominate, and act with foresight rather than impulsivity. By observing more, you gather wisdom from the world that is invisible to those lost in constant chatter. By speaking less, you preserve energy, focus attention, and maintain authority. Words become tools, not noise. Every statement carries intention and weight, building credibility and demonstrating control. A person who masters this principle navigates life with discernment, patience, and clarity. They understand that much is learned in silence, much is gained in restraint, and much is avoided by not speaking prematurely. Observation and measured speech together create a mind that is attentive, strategic, and capable of responding effectively to the complexities of life. This disciplined approach cultivates wisdom, influence, and the calm authority that defines the strongest individuals, allowing them to act decisively and live purposefully amidst chaos, opinion, and distraction, detached from outcomes. This principle is essential for clarity, resilience, and effective action. Most people tie their sense of success, happiness, or self-worth to the results of their efforts. They work hard yet remain anxious, disappointed, or frustrated because the outcome did not match their expectation. When your mind clings to results, you give power over your peace and focus to events beyond your control. True strength comes from investing fully in effort, while letting go of attachment to what happens afterward. Begin by separating action from reward. Understand that effort, intention, and process are yours to govern, while the consequences are shaped by circumstances, other people, and chance. You cannot control how events unfold, but you can control the quality of your work, your discipline, and your integrity. By concentrating on what is within your power, you free yourself from needless worry and wasted energy. This does not mean caring less about outcomes or acting carelessly. It means acting fully and deliberately while accepting that results may vary. Detachment allows you to pursue excellence without fear of failure. When success is the only motivator, fear accompanies every step, paralyzing decision-making and fostering hesitation. Detachment transforms action into something fearless and precise. It enables a calm and steady focus, unshaken by uncertainty, criticism, or setbacks. Embrace the idea that failure is not a reflection of your worth, only of factors outside your control. Detachment also fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. By not identifying your value with results, you remain grounded when things go wrong. You can assess mistakes objectively, learn lessons, and try again without being crushed by disappointment. Similarly, when success comes, detachment prevents arrogance or overconfidence. You understand that victory is temporary and dependent on factors beyond yourself, preserving humility and focus. Practice begins with awareness. Notice moments when expectations dominate your thoughts, when hope, fear, or anxiety about the future distracts you from the present task. Each time you observe this, redirect attention to your actions and effort, not the imagined outcome. This habit strengthens mental discipline and trains you to act deliberately rather than react emotionally. Detachment sharpens judgment. When you are not swayed by desire for reward or fear of loss, decisions become clearer. You evaluate situations based on reason, not emotion, and act strategically rather than impulsively. It also encourages perseverance. You continue working toward goals, even when immediate results are uncertain, because your motivation stems from purpose and principle, not fleeting approval or material gain. relationships, work, and personal growth all benefit from detachment. When interacting with others, you influence your words, your actions, your respect and integrity, without clinging to how they respond. When pursuing projects, you commit fully to the process without being consumed by speculation about outcomes. Detachment cultivates peace of mind. Anxiety, frustration, and resentment are rooted in attachment to what cannot be controlled. By letting go, you reclaim emotional energy, remain centered, and maintain clarity. This approach does not imply passivity. It is not surrender to fate but mastery over your response to it. Action becomes deliberate, fearless, and effective because it is guided by principle rather than anticipation of reward or fear of failure. Over time, detachment from outcomes builds a stable character. Your mind becomes resilient, your focus sharp, and your energy available for meaningful effort rather than worry. You learn to find satisfaction in effort itself, in alignment with your values, and in the integrity of your actions, creating a foundation of strength that no external circumstance can shake, allowing you to navigate life with calm, purpose, and unwavering focus.